It's time to welcome the Wine Ladies with Georgia and Suzanne. An entertaining hour topped up with great ideas about wine, where to dine, anything and everything to do with the vine. Great conversation, lots of laughter, guests from all walks of life, food and wine, music, art, sports, and much more, all on the Wine Ladies.
Hello, everybody. It's us, the Wine Ladies.
I'm Georgia.
And I'm Suzanne, and welcome everyone to the Wine Ladies here on thatchannel.com. Happy New Year. We are live here today in the studio.
And of course, to all our friends and fans on Facebook, on Twitter, and thewineladies.com, we always want to remember you as well. Happy New Year to you. We wish you a fantastic, happy, and very healthy 2011.
And speaking of healthy, well, January is the month when everyone starts to think about that once again, with lots of New Year's resolutions, of course, of which I've made many. Included in those as well is a pledge often to get in shape, to exercise more, maybe to drop a few pounds, and maybe have one or two fewer glasses of wine.
Really, Suzanne? Wow, I never thought I'd hear those words spoken. All right, but actually it is true. You know, what was very interesting is according to a recent CBC News poll that just came out in time for the new year, 9 out of 10 Canadians said as their New Year's resolution that right now they are not happy with the lifestyle that they are leading, that they definitely want to make changes. That is like 90% of us have to make lifestyle changes.
And you know, that's exactly what the focus of today's show is going to be all about. There are lots and lots of different paths that one can try to take and have a healthier lifestyle.
Right.
So we thought it would be timely and an opportunity to explore two specific ones here today. The first involves diet, although not calorie restriction. I like the sound of that.
So do I. And the other one involves an ancient form of exercise that has been around for, I think it's over 5,000 years. And this exercise has very extensive benefits that far exceed those of a slimmer body or a bigger muscle. And I like that too.
Now, we're going to really get into that in just a moment. But before we do that, I know we were talking about a few glasses less of wine.
Right.
But let's toast with a glass of wine to get the show on the road.
All right, let's do that, Suzanne.
Cheers, everyone. Happy
cheers,
New Year.
Everybody. Cheers, everyone. And actually, I have to say, we are toasting with one of our favorite wines. It's a 2009 Bonterra Chardonnay from Mendocino, California. It is an organic wine and fitting with the theme of living very healthfully for 2011. And it's got, and I don't even have to smell it because I know we have this all the time. It's got a great nose of like green apple, a little bit of pear, and a hint of oak. They use a combination of French and American oak in the Bonterra Chardonnay, and it's absolutely delicious. So there you go. When you're back on wine, pick up a bit of Bonterra.
Okay, well, on with today's show. Okay, our first guest, she is the chef for today. She is a certified chef in the raw food preparation and the proprietor of Enzyme Restaurant in Oakville. Please welcome to the show, Angie Brown.
Thank you very much.
Welcome, Angie.
Thank you.
Hi, Angie. Great to see you here.
Great to see you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, also joining us, a certified professional in personal training, yoga, and mind-body. She started doing yoga at the tender age of 3, if you can believe it. Yes. She was also a professional ballerina, having performed in Phantom of the Opera. She is now at the Aigita Hot Yoga Club, Spa, and Boutique in Oakville. Barb Leese, wonderful to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
Now, this is actually the first time I've seen these ladies not in 105-degree temperature room. Like, no one's sweating. We're just, that's an unusual state of affairs, I have to say.
I'm a little nervous. I might be sweating a little bit.
You're sweating? Oh, no. We're going to have a lot of fun this afternoon.
Well, I know, I promise that things are going to warm up a little bit because we are going to get Angie to show us a couple of yoga moves, I think, a little bit later in the show. But isn't that amazing, though, when you think about it, that 90% of the Canadian population is not living a lifestyle that they are happy with. I guess they're, you know, and also it's not only about hopping on a treadmill and, you know, eating a little bit less.
True.
Having a healthy lifestyle is so much more.
It's so true. And Suzanne and I were talking about this before the show, that so many people wish they could make either a really big change or maybe just a little tiny change. But to recognize how they're going to make that change
Right.
is the biggest question of all. And sometimes we just don't have time to think
Exactly.
how we make that change. We just have to do. We're such a society of doing. We're living at such a fast-paced life
Right.
that our minds never have a chance to become quiet so we can figure out how we want to make changes. So consequently, I think a lot of people, it's either all or nothing then.
I know the thing I find the most challenging when I do the yoga classes is the latter half of the class at the end, when we have to lie down there and enjoy what we've just done. You know, relax.
Shavasana.
I can't do that part.
It's often said to be the most difficult posture, as a matter of fact, for just such a reason, is to find that stillness, to find that quiet, where you can essentially give yourself permission to let go and just be. And it is, and you're in good company. There are a lot of people who experience that, but all the more reason to take that time and come back to your practices, as Barb, I'm sure, will mention as well.
And I think you get better at it if you practice. Like I've noticed, like when I first started, like you, Suzanne, I would be there like, and then, now do your toes, do my toes. My whole body's been going like for 5 minutes already. Like I'm itching to get up. But now I find there's actually been a couple of times when I don't even want to get up. Like I think I'm actually
Oh, that's
close.
where you are. We have work to do.
I do get up because I know Suzanne's knocking on my head. Where are you? But I actually have found that a couple of times that I'm really starting to enjoy it. And I don't know if this sounds like really crazy, but do they say kind of almost entering like another level of consciousness, not asleep, but not quite wide awake like you normally are in your everyday?
Pratyahara is the stage of yoga that we hope to move inwardly to
Okay.
when we're going into Shavasana. And it's a place where the easiest way to think of it is that we're no longer reacting to our senses. We're still
Okay.
aware of everything around us.
Right.
Hearing, sight, although we usually close our eyes in Shavasana, we're aware of our senses, but we're choosing not to react to them because it no longer is important. Where we've
Okay.
gone is, a lot of people feel as though they're moving underwater, that they're kind of slowly sinking. And it's the hardest thing for a lot of people to do because they're not quite sure where they're sinking to. Right?
The
When we-
unknown.
Okay, yes.
The unknown, right? When our minds become quiet, what's left?
Right.
And so our minds are so busy as a society, we're not used to being there. And as human beings, we don't like being in places, or not usually, we don't like being in places that we don't know, or we're not sure of, or that we feel familiar with.
Right.
And that's why Shavasana over time will usually start people off, you know, we aim kind of a 5-minute mark and we try to bump it up from there. And as you said, Georgia, you start to look forward to it and you think, when you hear us calling you back gently, you think, oh, a few minutes longer.
Right. That's
Yeah.
actually happened. I was shocked, but
Yeah.
it actually came to that
Yeah.
point. I know we do exercise a little bit of resistance to the unknown. And likewise, I have to say, I'm going to use this as a segue into the raw food
Yes.
because also when I heard first of enzyme when it was opening up and it was like raw food, I thought, wow, how is that going to work? Like carrots and celery? How filling can that be? I don't know if I'm really that interested. And I did resist until I enjoyed an eggless egg salad sandwich.
Wow.
That was amazing.
What do you replace the eggs with?
We actually, primarily it's nut-based. So in the eggless egg salad, it's cashews that we do, and we add a little turmeric for color. So you do have, because it is a feast for the senses as much as it is, you know, for your tongue and your body. So we want to make sure that we represent what you might look at as a conventional meal. So that's satisfied. And then in tasting, which is a completely different experience, because I like that people come skeptical, in fact, and most people do, because all the more space that we have to wow them and blow them
Right.
away, because people come in expecting a stalk of celery on their plate,
Yeah,
exactly
guilty as
as you
charged.
mentioned, which is fine, but
Yeah.
we understand that there's an artistry involved, and in the blending and putting the meals together, we create something beautiful. Because really, this is how we've been eating for, you know, you talked about yoga being around for a number of years. We
Yes.
haven't really been cooking our meals that often. If you think how many years we've been on this planet,
Right.
we've only really recently been cooking our meals. So it's what our bodies are designed for. We recognize it. We have perfect, beautiful machines, and our bodies recognize the composition of food completely without having to work hard to break it down. So essentially, the premise of raw food is anything that is kept under 115 degrees,
Okay.
as our name suggests, keeps its enzymatic properties. So enzymes are necessary in all life, in our body, all our chemical processes, and they're present in food as well. So that's why we call them living foods. Those enzymes are present, and in the cooking process, unfortunately, we diminish the enzymes. So we essentially diminish our body's ability to break down the food and utilize the nutrients, because what's so important is we can have beautiful food represented on our plate, whether it's organic, lovingly prepared, but if we add heat to it, we diminish the nutrient value significantly, sometimes from 30 to 80%. So you might
Really?
look
Wow.
at something and
Wow.
say, this has an abundance of calcium or magnesium, but in the cooking process, we deplete that. So we don't get the value of that. And that's where, the raw food, the living food, we like to call it a movement and whatnot, and that's where it's come from. So essentially, it's something we are designed for, and we just want to bring it back. So really, in terms of introducing this into the new year, it's finding the simplicity of it. We don't want to make it difficult for people. Whether you introduce this in 10% of your, your meal, your lifestyle, whatnot, has proven to be an enormous impact on your health, both in keeping you healthy, in disease prevention. A lot of people utilize this even when they're ill to allow the body to heal itself, because you are taking the burden off your body so it does as it's intended to do, which is to thrive and function in an optimal
Hey, Suzanne, it's the only machine that I need. I know, it's a great workout in just a fraction of the time. It made me get excited about workouts again.
T-Zone Vibration is making people sit up and take notice. Employing the newest technology and fitness equipment, T-Zone Vibration gives you an hour workout in just 10 minutes.
Try it. Believe it. You'll want to bring one home. T-Zone Vibration.
Call 905-483-8676. T-Zone Vibration, 905-483-8676. InBeauty Med Spa is constantly researching the latest innovations from around the world and bringing them home to you. It's a wonderful meeting of Eastern philosophies of skin and body care with exciting and innovative Western technology. All the InBeauty Med Spa health and wellness programs are medically supervised. A physician and dietitian are also available for client consultations. InBeauty Med Spa. Inspire the nature of beauty. Visit InBeautySpa.com.
Hey, Georgia. Hey, Suzanne. Welcome to Girls' Night Out. Did you remember the wine?
Of course, after all, we're the wine ladies.
We're in the kitchen, so what wine did you bring?
Well, for our Girls' Night Out, we brought Girls' Night Out. I brought the Chardonnay. I brought the Merlot.
Well, my guy bought me this.
Too funny, the Rosé. Well, let the party begin.
Girls Night Out Wines. Hugely popular VQA wines best enjoyed with friends. Available at the LCBO and other fine retail locations. For more information, go to girlsnightoutwines.com.